Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 130 of Carmela's Wrestling Radio Relived. I can't believe we're doing 130 episodes. Wow. And
Crazy.
and it's funny because we only did a couple episodes or a couple weeks with more than one episode. So this is basically one episode a week. I mean, this is like crazy.
Yeah.
I'm very happy. Rich, I mean, you haven't been here for the whole thing, but you've been banging them out with us recently a lot, and I'm really happy.
Thank God.
Yeah,
Well,
Rich is like
thank you, Laverne.
he's like the Motor City Madman. He'd like just give him a name or a title and he's banging it out and that's it. Tonight I want to say hi to a few people. Hi to Michelle especially because she called to let us know what the gathering was about. Hi to Gianni because he called me last night to wish me well, asked me how I was doing because of everything that happened with Debbie. Also, friend of mine named John, who just recently became a friend. He's going to watch the podcast tonight for the first time, so I want to say hi to him. Of course, Chuck Langerman, God bless him. Oh, by the way, Chuck sent me, and I forgot to send it to you guys because work has been hectic. He sent me both of your high school pictures from your, I guess, yearbook or whatever it was. I didn't even get a chance to look at them. I just laughed and I said, "Oh my God, Chuck!" And he said, I just thought I'd send you your two co-hosts and what they were like in high school. And I thought that was cute. But
Whether they were, I think the only pictures I have was my freshman year. I know I have that picture. And then my, senior year graduation picture.
Rich, you had long hair.
I did.
I have to. I'll send it to you guys tomorrow if I can find it. But it's like I said, all I saw was the hair. I didn't open them all up. But it's pretty cool. But listen, we got a lot to talk about tonight. I mean, a lot. Okay, and we're going to do WWF and AEW all the way across the board today because there's so much happening. There's so much going on. First thing I think we should talk about is Redemption. Okay, AEW had Redemption last week. I did not watch it. I know Jeannie didn't watch it. Rich, I know you did, but we did get to see.
I saw some highlights of some matches, but
yeah.
Other than that.
I mean, what I want to talk about, honestly, is I don't know that I want to go through match by match by match at this point. I want to just jump to Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega. Okay. Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega were like exceptional friends for so long. And then all this Death Rider stuff, came. And John Moxley and the crew are still Death Riders, Rich. Nothing has changed now. You got your answer, I think, right? They're still bad.
Yeah.
So what's happening is they probably were trying to get Will to turn on their side. Will has been known to say that he really liked the training. He liked being a Death Rider for the while that he was, but they were really going after Kenny. They were going to put his neck. They had his neck in the chair. They were going to stomp on it like they did with Will Ospreay and, hurt his neck. Will jumped out, saved them, took the chair away, and then John Moxley gave him a plastic bag that Will actually held in his hand for a second. You were thinking maybe he was going to do this. And then he ripped it up and he went and helped Kenny Omega. But according to what Kenny Omega said about that, and I know you guys watched it last night, but according to what Kenny Omega said, he was angry because he didn't like the way Will Ospreay was holding the belt. Like kind of like not wanting to give it to him, but and like didn't really acknowledge the fact that he saved his neck, literally saved his neck. And then Will went and hit John Moxley and they kind of just let it go. But then at the end, after Will and Kenny shook hands, they went up on the turnbuckles. Will Ospreay was at the top. Kenny went over, grabbed him underneath, gave him a left wing angel or something like that, knocked him down, hurt his neck again, blah, blah, blah. And then last night we could talk about the conversation they had. I don't know. I still think in the back of my mind, I still have a feeling that somewhere along the line, and it's just a thought, I could be 100% wrong, that Will might turn. What do you guys think about that?
I think it's possible, but to give credit where credit is due, they've done a good job at really prolonging this whole storyline into making you wonder what's going to happen next, because it seems to be taking various twists and turns, and just when you think you know what direction it's heading in, they swerve you again. And I think that is really good. So I think at this point anything's possible. I mean, as of last night, Ospreay is like an island on his own, but that could change.
Yeah, Jeannie, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with everything you and Rich just said. You know, I agree. The swerves have just been, you know, it keeps it interesting. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
And engaged. I still don't see Will. I can't see him as a bad guy. I just can't. And that might just be a me thing, but I just don't see it. Now, you know, when it comes to All In, when they go up against each other, because what's his name?
Kenny Omega.
Kenny Omega, thank you. I keep wanting to say Adam Page, God forbid.
Yeah, he was there too last night.
Yeah. Unfortunately. It was because Kenny Omega did what he did, I can see, okay, well, maybe I do need to be more, you know, with the Death Riders and do that thing because, you know, I want this as well. It's my dream. It's, you know, blah, 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 blah. So I can see him going that way. But I don't know. I just don't see him as a bad guy.
Well, remember when he first came in, he was a bad guy.
I didn't watch.
Yeah.
No clue.
Yeah, I saw it, and he did the stuff with.
Did he make a good bad guy?
Yeah, he was good. He did the stuff with the screwdrivers and beating people up and jumping them from behind and all. Yeah, he did. I mean, I like him better as a good guy because he's Will. You know, he's the Billy Goat, as they say, because his family and everybody call him Bill. But I think he would make a good bad or good guy, to be honest with you. But I think
he's a good wrestler. I'm not talking, but I just don't see him as like John Cena. Not to compare the two wrestling styles. I'm not. I'm talking about mic skills and being, you know what I mean, or even oh my God. Alzheimer's is a bitch, I'm telling you. Jericho.
Okay.
Like Jericho was awesome on the mic. He was an awesome, like he was a great heel. Like I just don't see him being that. Like I just you know, I don't know. It's hard for me to visualize.
Yeah. Well, let's see what happens.
He would be good at that because he's not that great on the mic.
No, but he's getting better. If you notice, he has been getting better. Like last night, he'd think he was really good last night.
On the mic.
He said last night, like, no matter how much I love you, he goes, you put your hands on me, he said, I'll beat the shit out of you. Like he was really, he's getting good. But I think what's happening here
could have been better.
Yeah, of course.
In my opinion.
But I mean, I think what's happening here is that they don't want them to fight each other as two good guys. You know what I'm saying? So there has to be some kind of heat between them. And that's why they're doing this. That's why the Kenny Omega.
Right. But the way it's looking, that it would be because if, as of right now, they're both faces. They're both good guys.
Yeah.
Okay. So because Kenny did what he did to him, now he's got more of a heel thing going on, which keeps him as more of a babyface, because he saved him and, all that kind of stuff. But because now he's so pissed off that he put his hands on him and stuff like that, now is he going to be like, the
bad guy, the crazy guy? Yeah,
it's going to be two bad guys going against each other.
I don't know, but we'll have to see. What do you think about that, Rich? You're being quiet.
Yeah, that's because I had a vacuum cleaner in the background, so I was trying to wait for that to end. Anyway, no, I was just taking in everything you were both saying. I don't think Osprey has great mic skills. I never did. I think Kenny Omega has great mic skills. I actually preferred Kenny Omega as a heel when he was the belt collector. I thought he was tremendous. I saw Osprey as a heel. I mean, Don Callis was basically his mouthpiece. From what I got out of last night, you could almost, the way that Kenny just like went out from under the ring and went back up the ramp to the top of the ramp, it's almost like he kind of like became a heel at that moment in a way.
Yeah.
Because he was like running away from Osprey as opposed to like, okay, after slapping him in the face 5 or 6 times and Osprey then going back at him rather than it becoming a brawl, Omega retreated almost in a heel-like fashion.
He did. Yeah.
So, and it could go back and forth for the next several weeks, which is why, and again, now you still got the Death Riders looming in the background, right? You had Osprey taking that Death Riders patch and giving it back to Moxley. This thing can take various twists and turns, and that's what I like about it. That's what I like about it.
Well, that's the thing, because you never know, because like on in All In, they could turn around and have the Death Riders jump in and attack Will Ospreay at this point now, and so there's no, like you said, there's no telling what's going to happen. And they do have, I've liked it from the beginning. I've liked the Death Riders Will Ospreay thing from the beginning. And I mean, is it slightly possible that you are possibly giving a compliment to Tony Khan?
Yes, I am. I give credit where credit is due. I give credit where credit is due. This is great long-term storyline booking, unlike to use, for example, the WWE creative having probably, not to divert this discussion, but probably having one of the worst segments in the history of Monday Night Raw with the Joe Henry Danhausen.
That was horrific.
Concert, in addition to things like having John Cena actually tap out on his last final match.
Yeah.
I mean,
and the way he did it, right, the way he tapped out was, rather than even faking it, he just said,
right.
That was ridiculous. I don't, WWE with this Danhausen stuff is clearly trying to attract the children, the younger generation, because wherever there's a kid, there's hopefully 2 parents and at least 1. Okay, so there you go. That's their concept, and it always has been as far as that goes. Years ago, it used to be family oriented. Now it's just attract the kids, because when their kids come, their parents come, because that's just extra money. That's the only thing. Let's jump a little bit with. I want to talk about the tag team with Adam Copeland and Christian Cage. It was nice seeing them 2 together. And I think they did a good job. They're going to be going up in Wembley against the Young Bucks. How did you like that?
I think Christian seems to be lightening up on his a-hole personality a little bit, evidence from the interview last night, which I am not happy about, because I think that this is Christian's greatest gimmick that he's ever had. Yeah. The match was good. The match against the Young Bucks.
What?
Who did they wrestle?
I'll tell you right now. They wrestled Claudio Castagnoli and Pac for the tag team.
Oh, wow. All
so
right.
The Death Riders.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And, but I agree with you, because I like Christian as the bad guy who insults everybody and who, I've never seen, like you said, that's probably his best gimmick. I've never seen Christian that blatantly, his characteristics is that blatantly cruel and bad, so I think that's pretty cool. I like that too.
I just want to say one thing about the on the pay-per-view with the Osprey Omega thing. The one thing I don't like, and I didn't like it when they did it the last time, I don't like the plastic bag routine because you got kids watching this. And again, I'm not trying to sound prudish or anything, but I just think that it's not good for them to be doing that kind of just unmitigated violence with children watching the show. I didn't like it when they did it to Bryan Danielson. I thought it was just absolutely horrific.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I do. And also, I also agree when we talk a little bit about the Chris Jericho and Tommaso Ciampa, they did the drill. I mean, he put that drill like it looked like it was just going right through his head. And that's a little scary too, because like you said, we have to understand, like the little kids don't get it. These guys are trained professionals. They're not hurting each other. You know what I'm saying? As much as it looks like they're killing each other, they're really not. I remember, I don't know, Jeannie, if you remember this, years ago when we had one of our shows, or I think it was one of our shows, or when Joel was a manager in ECWA, I think, there was an incident where a couple of wrestlers hit him, okay? And I joked with him because he got hit. He never fell down. He leaned across the ring on the apron. And every once in a while, he'd pick up his head and look, and then he'd go back down. I said, Joel, you didn't sell that good at all. But I said to him, because it really looked like he was getting hit a lot. And I said to him, Joel, did it hurt? Tell the truth. He goes, I didn't feel a thing, honestly. And that's how good they are. He said, it's funny because, like, they know what they're doing. They know how to do it. You don't. Everybody out there, okay, like the people who jump off of real houses like Mick Foley did, and the people who do backyard wrestling. You're doing this because you like wrestling, yes, but you don't know how to hit. This is why, especially today, these wrestlers are taught and taught and taught and taught and taught. Nobody's going to go in the ring and really and truly purposely try to kill somebody. Even in the MMA, even in boxing, people have injuries all over the place all the time. But it's illegal to go into any ring or cage or anything like that, and with the knowledge and purposely wanting to hurt somebody. That's not how it is. That's not how it's supposed to be. And that's why kids shouldn't be doing that, because they don't know what they're doing. So just please, like Rich said, keep that in mind. Okay. I want to jump.
Do not try the things at home.
That's true. I want to jump into something for Jeannie, because I know she's going to throw up when I say this, but your girl is the champion of the AEW. I love Willow Nightingale. I just do. I know you don't like her, but I love her.
She just annoys the fuck out of me. I'm sorry. She's just not my cup of tea.
No.
I think she's a good wrestler, but
she's
her
great.
persona just annoys
me. It's funny because last night, I don't know if you both watched it last night with Mercedes Moné. She had actually Will Ospreay. Actually, Willow said, they don't like me because I'm too cheery, or I'm too this, or I'm too that. I was like, Jeannie. I thought of Jeannie right away. But I got to be honest with you, and I know you're probably not going to agree with me. I think she's stunning. I really do. She's a bigger girl.
Oh, she's beautiful.
Yeah,
she's a great wrestler.
Yeah.
And this is just a pet peeve. She just annoys the fuck out of me.
She's too cheery.
I can't. I don't. It just bothers me. And it's a me thing. But I think
I have to agree with Jeannie.
I think she's a great wrestler.
Yeah.
She just annoys me.
She annoys me.
Does? Wow.
Yeah.
I'm the only one that she doesn't annoy. I love her. I think she's freaking awesome. I just like her. I like her stamina. I like her.
I kind of compare her a little bit to Bayley. Like when Bayley first came out and the huggers and all that stuff, and it was just like, oh dear God in heaven, stop. Like it's a me thing. It's just a me thing. I don't like it. Bayley's a great wrestler. I like her better as a heel,
right?
Because it's not all that, but I don't know. And it's just a preference. It's just a preference. Just like some people like country music, other people like hard rock, other people like rap. It's just a preference.
Mm-hmm.
That she annoys me. But
like
I still think she's a good wrestler
she's
and
excellent.
beautiful.
She really is.
But
Yeah.
she might-
I actually would love to meet her one day too. It would be so nice. I would just like, and I love her hair. I just do. Like I would just I want to cut it. Like I want to design it. I want to play with it. It's just, it's a hairdresser in me. Okay, let's end this now with the redemption. That's over. Let's talk about what's coming
Oh,
up.
wait a second. You don't want to talk about the segment where Mick Foley was barking like a dog and
No.
making a total fool out of himself?
No.
Oh, I didn't
Okay.
even know about
Go ahead.
that.
If you want to talk about it, go ahead. Now we'll talk about it. I didn't want to bring it up, but you can talk about it. It didn't
Mick
impress
Foley-
me in the least.
Mick Foley is now part of AEW because he refuses to have anything to do with WWE. So now he is now an interviewer, and there was a segment when he was talking to two of the women wrestlers, and I forget the context of it, and then his total failure of attempt of humor is he started going bow wow, barking like a dog, and I just thought it was one of the stupidest things I ever saw.
Yeah, I did too. That's why I didn't bring it up. But anyway, thank you for that. Let's talk a little bit about WWE right now, because we're going to talk about AEW again, but their All In is going to be at the end of August. We have SummerSlam coming up this weekend. So let's do a few predictions before we do anything else. SummerSlam on Saturday, CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes. I'll be honest with you on that one. I'm sick of seeing both of them. Go ahead. What do you guys think?
I think CM Punk retains. I don't know that. I don't think it's going to be clean. I think there will be interference from Sami Zayn.
Okay. What about you, Jeannie? What do you think?
I could care. But if I had to predict, I would. It's Cody
and Punk. Yeah, well, I'm sick of seeing both of them. I am. I'm just over it.
I guess I would want CM Punk to retain in some way, somehow, but I think Cody's gonna win it. Unfortunately. He's another one that just annoys the hell out of me. Anybody who talks like Cindy Brady, I'm sorry, and I know he can't help it. It's a speech impediment. I get it. Okay, this is why I'm going to hell. But I've said this since day one. When he was a bad guy and stuff like that. Sorry, you don't put the fear in me if you're talking like Cindy Brady. Same with his asshole father. Okay, he had the same impediment, No, you don't strike any fear in me. You talk like Cindy Brady. Shut the fuck up.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm in the mood today.
Jeannie, tell us how you really feel. But no, I'm just sick of seeing the repetition over and over and over and over and over again.
Well, it's the same with Rollins and Roman. Like, how many times do we have to see this?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like,
how many years have we seen this?
I know. It's like the thing is,
year.
Like, I have to beat you this time. I have to beat you. They have fought. All right, they haven't fought together for a couple of years. Okay, fine. But they have fought over and over and over and over and over again. And it's like, enough already.
Because either one of them is injured or one of them's got to deal with his leukemia. And, it's just like.
Yeah, but it's like beating a dead horse already.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The horse is dead. Let it go. What do you think, Rich? How do you feel about all that? Do you think it's beating a dead horse? Do you think it's too much repetition?
Well, you
didn't what?
Absolutely, it's too much repetition. Yeah, absolutely, it's too much repetition, and they're dragging down their stars. They're dragging down the new stars.
See, that's
but you didn't give us your prediction yet.
Mine?
But you didn't give us yours.
For Cody and
I think CM Punk's going to retain too. I do. I don't like it either way. I don't want either one of them to win. I want somebody to jump in, beat the hell out of both of them, and just call it even. I don't want, I don't want any references to their championship anymore. I'm sick of it. I'm just sick of it. Cody wins, he loses. He wins, he loses. He wins, he loses. CM Punk, you did your 10 years thing. You came back. Everybody wanted CM Punk. Now you came back. We know how much you love AJ Lee. God bless. It's like, you can't put your pants on without her. And I get that. Okay. But let's just wrestle. Okay. Let's just do a decent storyline. That's what I need. And from there, we're going to go right to Obafemi and Brock Lesnar. Same thing. Okay. I'm getting a little tired of that already too. I believe Oba's going to win only because I believe it's a passing of the torch. What do you guys think?
I hate to say this, but I'm going to go against the grain. And the reason I'm going against the grain is because of WWE's inconsistent and sometimes absurd booking. And I'm going to go for those reasons that they're going to put Brock Lesnar over.
Okay, Jeannie, what do you think?
Again, could care less. But probably I'm going to say, see, I want to agree with Rich. I really, in my gut, it's telling me that it's going to be Brock Lesnar. But I watch every day, almost every day. I watch ESPN's First Take. I like it. And since the merge with WWE, every time there's a pay-per-view, the week before, they have WWE people on. And this past week, they had, was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday or Tuesday. I don't know. But they had Triple H on. And like the one guy was saying, I really thought this match would never happen because Brock retired. He left his boots in the ring and whatever. And then he's like, well, no. And, listen, nobody tells Brock what to do. And if, Brock does what he wants and it's up to Brock. So if Brock wants to have one more match,
well, that's BS, and you know that.
Yeah. And, so that's, but then he was going on saying that because they asked, what about Obafemi? Does he have a ceiling? And he's like, no, he doesn't have a ceiling. He doesn't, the sky is the limit, and for him, and he's so impressed with them being so new and blah, 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 blah. So I was kind of like, well, I don't know. I still kind of think that part of me thinks that Brock is going to retire after this match to pass the torch. But another part of me is just kind of like, I think it's too much too soon for Obafemi.
Well, let me tell you what I think. First of all, I think Brock really retired. I think the only way he came back was because WWE was going to sue him because he broke his contract, period. Done deal. Triple H can say Brock does whatever he wants, and that's all crap. So I think that's the only reason why. So they had originally wanted to retire Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. Brock Lesnar decided that something was going to be different, and I'll never forget that. When he did that, that was the end of that, okay? So I do believe that Oba's going to win only because of the fact that Brock is going to retire. Now, here's the other
thing. If he really does retire, then is going to retire.
Right. Then it'll be Oba.
Then it'll be Oba. But if he's really not going to retire, I don't see him.
I don't know. But the other thing is Oba, and I watch a lot of stuff on Instagram and stuff like that so I can stay aware of what's going on. Oba, he does some incredible workouts. I mean, incredible. That guy is an athlete forget it. Okay. It's not just a big guy. It's not just a wrestler. From when his shot putting days and all that. And now he can run. I mean, he is extremely agile for a big guy. Brock's not that agile. He never really was. Brock was just the big guy. Okay. So I think as far as that goes, Oba has the advantage. And yeah, it is too much too soon. I agree with you, but he's also got such a rapport now with being the ruler, the king, the this, the that. People just go crazy over him. It's almost like, how can they not push him? That would be unfair almost to the fans to not push him. They have
They've done it before.
I know they have, but I'm saying, like, they've got a golden turkey or golden goose in their midst. They may as well just use them, you know? So that's what I think. We're just going to go with what we
And
all
that
said
match is
tonight.
like a Hell in a Cell. Is it a Hell in a Cell?
Yeah,
or just a
Hell in a
cage
Cell.
match?
No,
Okay.
Hell in a Cell, which is basically a cage with a lid. That's all
Yeah.
it is. Okay, so now we have Liv Morgan versus Io Sky for the women's championship. Now, mind you, Liv Morgan has been a champion for how many days now and has not one time defended her title yet. Not once. And there was this big rule that if you don't defend your title within 30 days, you have to give it up.
That was 50 years ago. They don't.
Oh,
honor
yeah, but
that
no, they
anymore.
pull that rule out when they need it. They did it with, what's her name? Willow. She had to turn in her belt because she hurt her shoulder. What a
Different federation.
No, WWE, I think, wait a minute, was it?
No, Brock Lesnar.
No, but it's who they want to do it with. It's just the way it goes. I think it was not too long ago. I'm trying to think of who it was. Was it Rhea or somebody? Somebody not too long ago had to give up, maybe a couple years, had to give up their title because they were hurt. Okay, I think
It's selective. It's
selective. I think it was Seth Rollins actually before he came in.
Yeah, with his leg.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So they do it when they want to do it. Okay, that's supposed to be a rule, but it's not. As far as Liv Morgan and Io Sky, as far as actual ability, I think Io Sky's got it all over her. As far as people jumping in and stuff, I think Liv's probably going to retain. What do you guys think?
I think you're right, but I'm tired of both of them, to be honest with you. Yes, Io Sky is the better athlete. Liv Morgan seems to have more attention, I guess, entered from an entertainment aspect. She's got the Judgment Day to interfere on her behalf. And honestly, I don't really care who wins because I'm sick of both of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Liv will retain.
Okay, Jeannie, what do you think?
Rich, I agree with you. I could care less about this match, although I am a big Liv Morgan fan. I think she's awesome. I love her as a heel. I think she's a tremendous athlete. I do like her. Is Io Sky a quote better wrestler than her? Yes and no. I mean, I don't know. I'm not. I haven't seen enough of Io Sky for me personally to make that call. So, but to answer the question, I want Liv Morgan to win it.
Io Sky.
Like her.
Yeah, they call Io Sky the genius of the sky. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't see that really. I've seen other women, look at Sol Ruca. Other women have done more incredible things on the ropes than her. The thing is, like, I do like when she does this. I don't know why. I just like that. But with Sol Ruca, I feel bad because Sol Ruca just lost her belt. And I think they're going to start toning her down because she was like a balloon that deflated is what I read. Now, I don't know how that. I like her. I happen to like Sol Ruca. I think she's a great entertainer.
Well, is she in somebody's corner? Why are we talking about her?
Oh, because I was just comparing her ability to Io Sky. But we'll get to her later on.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So now we have Gunther and Nick Aldis. Okay. I knew Nick Aldis was going to get back into wrestling from the get-go because that guy is built like a brick house, first of all. And secondly, he was a really good wrestler when he wrestled. So I knew this was going to come to play at some point. Will Gunther beat him? Probably, because Nick Aldis does not plan on staying a wrestler. This is supposed to be a one-shot deal from what I read. So I don't know for sure. Rich, what do you think?
Gunther. Gunther has to win. I mean, it's just because again, I could go back to the theory that they would swerve you with horrendous booking, but what purpose would it make to have Gunther lose?
Right. Jeannie?
Yeah. Agreed.
Okay.
Gunther. Not that
Okay.
I don't care.
LA Knight, Solo Sikoa, and Royce Keys versus Jacob Fatu, Jimmy Uso, and Jay Uso. Okay, who do you think's going to win on that?
Well, this is the match that I actually am most looking forward to.
Really?
Because this to me is a totally underwhelming SummerSlam. Because of the two, the four people with the two titles, the two men's titles. It's an underwhelming show. The thing that is fascinating, and I'm so sick of the bloodline. I want to throw up already. And now they're again shading the lines between heels and face with Usos. They've got this thing where Jacob Fatu is now back in the Usos, and now Solo is all of a sudden supposed to be a fan favorite because he's dressed up like a, what do you call him? A pimp, right? Solo's, Mr. Cool all of a sudden. But what I find interesting is the dynamics of Solo teaming with Royce Keys and LA Knight. And LA Knight, they better do something with LA Knight and pull the trigger on him already because he's so underutilized. So that being said, so again, just because of the dynamics, and I still think at the end of the day, Solo's going to wind up with the bloodline. And I think this whole thing with him saying "to hell with you, Roman" is all just a swerve.
Right.
So I think the Usos and Jacob will win because Solo will Samoan spike either Royce Keys and LA Knight, and one of them will, Jacob will pin one of them or whatever. So that's what I think is going to happen.
What do you think, Jeannie?
Whichever team LA Knight is not on is going to win.
Okay. I think the
and again, I don't care. But
I think that,
it's just, and this will be probably his exit out of there. Because what are they going to do with him?
LA Knight?
LA Knight.
Yeah.
And because they're not doing anything with them.
That's the thing. I feel bad. I do feel bad. So. I feel bad because I like LA Knight and they're not doing anything with him. They're underutilizing him, like Rich said. I think the Usos are going to win. I agree. But I also feel bad for what they're doing with Royce Keys, too. I think that, and it's just my opinion, I think that he was much better when he was Powerhouse Hobbs. I just do. They're just underutilizing him to death now. And all of a sudden, like, again, he's a big, strong, tough guy. And he can't beat anybody. I mean, that's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. And then you got somebody like
typical WWE.
Right. And then I'm saying you got somebody like Obafemi who, when he was in NXT, got the crap beat out of him a lot of times. And
can you imagine him going up against Oba? Oh my God.
Yeah. But again, they wouldn't let Powerhouse Hobbs do anything big, I don't think. I really don't.
Right.
So we'll see. Okay, Fatal Influence. JC Jane, Fallon Henley, and Lainey Reed versus Brie Bella, Nikki Bella, and Paige. Okay, I'm going to start because I have to say this. I cannot stand Brie Bella, Nikki Bella, or Paige. So there you go. Now you have my prediction.
I thought you liked Nikki, not Nikki. Brie.
I like Brie better than Nikki, but I don't really like either one of them. Nikki to me is a total waste of everything that's human. Brie, on the other hand, I think is more real than Nikki is. Nikki's that, and Brie is a little bit more normal, I think. I like Brie better than Nikki. I just don't like any of them. And Paige just gets on my nerves. If she says this is my house one more time, I think I'm going to throw up. That's all she ever says. Rich, what do you think?
I agree with you as far as the Bellas are concerned. They nauseate me. Paige does nothing for me. She never did, even when she was Saraya or whatever in AEW.
Yeah.
There could be, I think Fatal Influence is going to win. And I think there's a potential for the 17th heel turn by Nikki Bella.
Oh yeah, she's going to hit her sister and she's going to hit Paige. I thought of that too. Yeah, she turns on everybody all the time. So there you go. Okay, now let's do Sunday night. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins. Here we go again. I think we kind of hit on that. I'll be honest with you. I want to see Seth Rollins win just to get it over with. I just want it over with. I am so sick to death of seeing over and over the same stuff over and over and over and over again.
But why would it end? Why would it be over if Seth won?
It's not going to be over no matter who wins. But I figured with Seth winning, that would separate him and Roman for a long time again. You know what I'm saying? And maybe they could do something else with Roman. Like, I don't know. Like we're this family crap. Like I am all for family and all that, but enough already. How far are you going to go with that? You know, I mean, you know, yeah, my family's going to be here to watch me. My family this, my family that, my family this, and that's wonderful. And then you got family turning on family and family coming back and then turning on them again and then coming back again. How much of that are they going to do? I just want to see the two of them separated. I don't want them to be, you know, in the same ring anymore. I'm sick of that too.
Unless they team up, I would like to see them.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, because when they're showing videos, they've been showing, when they show the Shield now, they have been showing Jon Moxley on there. And I don't know what that means, because they didn't at first. Now they are. So I don't know if that means that they're trying to get Moxley back. I don't know if that means that because they own the rights to him when he was there, that they're allowed to show him. I don't know what any of that means, but I don't like it. So that's just how I feel. Rich, how do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sick of it all. But I think Roman wins so that he can finally say that he beat Seth Rollins, because that's the one thing that's eluded him. Mm-hmm. So everything else in his glorious career except beat Seth Rollins. And so this will be his way to not be elusive of that anymore. Huh?
Yeah. The Fiesta Resistance, that'll be for him, you know, his big achievement. Again, like I said, I don't know. And the way Roman comes out and everything's so slow and it takes so long. That segment with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins on Monday night, literally, and I'm not kidding, that seemed like they talked for like 2 minutes. Took 27 minutes for that interaction with the two of them. And you're sitting there watching, and you know, and I go to bed early. I happen to stay up later for Raw. I couldn't sleep. And here I am in my chair going, my daughter says, go to bed. I'm like, I'm
not. You just want to hit the fast forward button.
I know, even when it's live. I know. And it's crazy. I hate it. Okay, next one. Let's do Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill versus Chelsea Green versus Charlotte Flair versus one wrestler to be determined in a 5-way ladder match, which will probably happen tomorrow night on SmackDown. Personally, I'll be very honest with you. I think Chelsea Green has gotten the short end of the stick so bad, so many times. I absolutely love her. She is one of the female wrestlers, or wrestlers in general, that never gives anybody a hard time. She will do whatever they ask her to do. She doesn't complain. I think she deserves something. I do. I'm sick of Jade Cargill. I'm sick of it. Tiffany Stratton does nothing for me anymore. When she first came out, I thought she was pretty cool. I liked her. Charlotte Flair, I'm over. You know, I just want to see Chelsea Green win, and I don't know who the to be determined will be until Friday night. So, what do you guys think?
Well, first of all, I think it's absolutely absurd that they're fighting for something called an interim women's champion because Rhea Ripley is injured. I have never heard in all my years of being a wrestling fan of an interim champion. So what happens when Rhea Ripley returns? They have to hand the belt back over to Rhea Ripley?
Yeah.
The whole concept is stupid.
Oh my God, is that true? Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, see, they did that. They took the belt away from Rhea because she couldn't defend it. And now they're doing an interim. Somebody's got to stand in. It's like a stand-in. If you're going to do an interim, just pick somebody and let them do it. Because when Rhea comes back, if they decide to make Rhea fight the champion for the belt, then that's not an interim champion. That's
No.
a match for a championship. You know what I mean? So I don't know. The way it sounds is that they're going to have to just give her the belt when she comes back. I don't know. That makes no sense to me. But I'm over. I'm over the Jade Cargill, tough lady baloney. I'm over the out of all of them, I'll be honest with you, out of all of them in the ring, my first go-to is Chelsea Green and then Charlotte. Tiffany and Jade absolutely do nothing for me anymore. Jade absolutely.
We don't know who the TBD is yet. Who do you think?
No,
the
it'll be
TBD is
tomorrow
gonna be?
night. They're going to decide
Right.
it. I guess they're going to have another match, so we'll see. But I don't know. Maybe it'll be Becky Lynch. She hasn't been around doing anything for a while. She took some time off to be with her daughter, so it makes sense. But I don't know what they're going to do. The next match is annoying me already. Penta against Chad Gable. Like, really? Now Chad Gable's going to fight every Hispanic wrestler because of what he did and how he faked being Hispanic and blah, 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 blah. And he's sorry, and he's sorry, and he's sorry. And get over it. All right. I'm over that too. It's like ridiculous already. And like you said, they're dragging it out. How many times can you get in the ring and say, I'm sorry I made fun of the Hispanic people. I'm sorry I made fun of your nationality. I'm sorry I pretended to be one of you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. How's that going to fix anything? What's the point in that? I don't really care who wins. Penta's probably going to win, but I don't care who wins. What do you guys think about that?
Well, first of all, I think Chad Gable needs a personality transplant because there is nothing about Chad Gable that is exciting, that is wanting you to like him or to cheer for him. He's just bland. Now, that being said, he's a tremendous wrestler. He is a tremendous athlete, but he does absolutely nothing for me, and I could care less. I could care less about either of them, to be honest with you.
Exactly.
So whoever wins, okay, Penta, win, good. Next match, right?
Yeah. Jeannie, how do you feel?
Basically, same
thing. I want to jump into something real quick, since Chad Gable reminded me of the Alpha Academy, and that reminded me of all the stuff that happened with them. And when Dominic, who is married, had a little romance going with Liv Morgan, nobody complained. Nobody said anything. Everything was fine. Okay. Now Maxine Dupree, who is married, has this little romance going on with Austin Theory. Everybody thinks it's horrific, and they're calling her a whore because she's married, and why is she doing that? I want to take everybody in this world and slap them. I really do. It's ridiculous. Why is it okay? And, everybody's going to think like I am a chauvinist or something, but I don't care. Why is it okay for a man to be married and hang on?
Well, first of all, I agree with what you're saying, but it's a storyline. It's not real.
I know, but I'm talking about the people who think it is. Okay, why is it? But even so, it's the double standard. No, I'm not going to stop.
No, because it's irrelevant. It doesn't affect our lives in one way or the other, whether it's a real affair, a fake affair, which is a fake affair. Okay, same with Dominic. Okay, it was a fake affair. All right. Stop. It doesn't matter. It doesn't.
None of this matters, Jeannie. We make it matter. And that's why I'm
telling you to stop. Stop making it matter.
No, I'm not going to stop, because I'm going to tell you why. Because it pisses me off so bad, because it's always a double standard.
That's a you problem.
It is a me problem. Just like Will Ospreay, Willow Nightingale was a you problem, but right. I'm going to still talk about it, because it's right away. It's like, because the woman does it, she's no good. The guy does it, and that's okay. And it's just, I hate the double standard. I'm making it known that I hate it. End of story. I think people are crazy. I think they're nuts, and I think they're stupid. What do you think, Rich? I'm done now.
Is there anything else that you'd like to kvetch
there
on
might
this
be.
subject?
There might be. But go ahead. What do you think?
Well, I think the whole angle is absurd, because 3 weeks ago she was slapping Chad Gable in the face, and now 2 weeks later she turns on Alpha Academy, and now she's with Austin Theory and the Vision, and then Paul Heyman leaves Division because he thinks that they're fine with Maxine Dupree. So the whole thing is absurd from an angle standpoint.
Mhm.
And, as far as people getting all bent out of shape about Maxine Dupree and Austin Theory, get over it. It's a storyline. And
Exactly.
if people think it's real, then they're either delusional or maybe they shouldn't be watching it. Because if they think it's real, then maybe they think that putting the plastic bag over somebody's head could be a real thing too.
Exactly. And it's ridiculous. And I hate it. And it's funny because it seems like every match that's coming up for this weekend, there's something bad in it, The next one is
that's why I'm saying. That's why I'm saying this is such an underwhelming SummerSlam.
Yeah. Well, look at this next one. Now, listen to this match. Trick Williams, who I love him. He's going to fight Baron Corbin. Are you kidding me?
Well, you know what happened with that? They did an after SmackDown show, internet only angle where Baron Corbin came out of nowhere and attacked Trick Williams. And then Trick Williams did some promo after Baron Corbin got done beating the crap out of him. And that's what set up the match. Baron Corbin is another one who has no personality. No, he's just like nothing. He has had various characters. None of them have gotten over. None of them have been successful. And why he's even back in WWE is beyond me.
Exactly. The only thing that I ever found intriguing at all about Baron Corbin at all, okay, was number one, he can make a kick-ass barbecue. Okay, from what I understand and from what I've seen, I've watched some stuff. He can cook like there's no tomorrow. The other thing is, I found it very interesting when he said in an interview that when he used to have the long hair, he wanted to cut it in the worst way. And it took Vince McMahon 9 months to give him the okay because he wasn't allowed to do it on his own. That's it. Other than that, I find nothing intriguing about him at all. Okay. Baron, it's like bringing Dan Houser in. You know what I mean? It's that bad.
Well, if he does so good on the barbecue, then maybe Braun Strowman on his everything on the Needle show ought to go to Baron Corbin's house for barbecue.
I'm sick of that too. My God. And Baron Corbin, when Braun Strowman, when he does that, you notice, I don't know if you ever noticed, I did watch one episode to make myself watch it. And everything on the menu is only protein. It's only meat. There's no mac and cheese. There's no cake. There's no cookies. There's no bread, really. It's all like he'll eat a cheesesteak. He'll take a bite out of it. That's it. But if he's always got burgers. He's got steaks that are this big. It's all protein. So it's not everything on the menu. So that's crap too. Okay. I'm so sick of it. Now this one. Okay, here we go. Sami Zayn versus Finn Balor to become the number one contender for the WWE Championship. I would love
Finn Balor.
I love Finn Balor too. I would love to see Finn Balor take it. I'm also sick of Sami Zayn. I'm sick of them making him whine. Why they turned him into the biggest whiner in the world, I will never understand. Maybe it's because they want everybody to hate him. Maybe that's the deal. But I'm just over that too. I'm done.
Well, I'm still angry about the fact that they only let him have the belt for 9 days. And especially after he won it totally clean. He won it on a roll-up on Cody.
Yep.
Okay?
I agree.
So my prediction is Finn Balor's going to win this, which is going to irate Sami Zayn even more because now he's wearing a T-shirt that says something like "Justice for Sammy" or something like that.
Oh my God! You know what? I honestly feel sorry for Finn Balor because, in all fairness, the undisputed title when it first came out, he won it. He won it he was the first winner of that belt when he pulled his shoulder out, and he he couldn't be champion because he had to go and get his shoulder fixed. He hasn't had a decent run since that night, and I feel bad for him.
That's true.
I like him a lot, and I want him to win. I think he's going to win that title, and he should win it. It's well deserved. He's been keeping his mouth shut and hiding in the shadows for too long. I love Finn Balor.
I also like Finn Balor better as a face as opposed to a heel.
Yes, he's not a good heel, not at all. And I love his song, and I love the way he does that. And I just like it. See, there's certain things I like that are just stupid, and there's certain things I like that are good. But sometimes the stupid things are funny, and I like them. So there you go. So now let's look at. Let me see. Let's talk a little bit about Javon Evans. That kid, to me, I told you, Jeannie, he reminds me of a younger Kofi Kingston. That kid is unreal. That kid can literally fly in the air. The only thing he is lacking is the wings. If he had wings, you'd never see him again. That kid is such a terrific athlete. He is such a high flyer. He is so good at everything he does. But I don't know if they're going to push him because he's very, very, very thin. And I hate to say that because I'm not that kind of person. But I'm hoping that that's not why they don't push him. I think he really needs a big push. I think he's an amazing athlete. I really do. What do you guys think?
I think he's a great athlete. But I think you're right. I think his thinness detracts from the WWE model as to who they want to push.
And that's wrong.
He doesn't look like Oba
really
Femi.
wrong.
If he looked like Oba Femi, Oba who? You know what I mean? It would be the other way around. So
exactly, and that's the problem. Okay, I think
they won't give him a push, and they won't,
And it's a shame. What did I do? I just messed something up. I think the problem is too that they're not listening to the audience. And I think I forgot a match. Oh my God! Look, I forgot a match.
You did forget a match. The most important match.
Oh my
on
God!
This card over the 2 nights
match of the whole thing of the whole SummerSlam. Danhausen against Dominic Mysterio, with all the little Danhausens probably jumping in. He's got a bunch of little people dressed up like him, and there's going to be a ton of interference. And then the "You Are Cursed." It's like LA Knight, like the LA Knight. So he says, "You are cursed." And get over it. Stop. I'm getting like you now, Jeannie. Stop.
But what you left out is that it's a human. It is a human monies on a pole match.
A what?
A human monies on a pole match. The 100,000 that Danhausen stole from Dominic is going to be on a pole.
He calls money human money. Yeah, human versus demon or whatever. Yeah. So it's going to be human money on a pole. So forget it. So you know who I think of when I see Danhausen? You want to know what I think of? Svengoolie. That's what I think of when I see Danhausen and that whole shtick. I think of the Svengoolie. When you want to watch a good movie on Svengoolie, like he does a lot of really good old monster movies. Like I love Dracula and Frankenstein and all that. Every time you try to watch the movie, every time there's a commercial, there's like 20 minutes of Svengoolie saying stupid shit and getting chickens thrown at him. It's the same thing. And I'm like, oh God, just let me watch the movie, But that's the way Danhausen's getting. I can't. I'm over it. Oh my God, I'm over it.
What they're doing with Danhausen
podcast tonight. What
they're doing with Danhausen, in my opinion, they are now getting to the point where he got over by accident because of the New York Knicks thing. And what they're doing now is they're taking advantage of that. But by doing that, they are now overexposing him. They need to dial him back.
Yeah.
And that whole stupid concert was just the most absurd thing I can recall ever seeing.
Has there ever been an actual wrestling match with this guy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Does anybody know?
He's had a regular wrestling match. No, he's not good. He's about 25 pounds. And he's about 3 feet tall.
I'm not talking about his height and his weight. I'm talking about his wrestling ability.
He doesn't have any. He started out originally, I'm not mistaken, he was on AEW. And they got rid of him. Yeah. And he is just a gimmick. That's all he is, Jeannie. I mean, yeah, he does wrestle. He does wrestle. He can do like a drop kick. He can do, like throw you over. He can climb to the top rope, that kind of stuff. Yeah, but he doesn't like wrestle like they do. You know what I mean? He can do a few little things, yeah, but that's not what his persona is supposed to be. That's not what his gimmick's supposed to be. His gimmick is supposed to be a Dracula looking kind of thing, and and like again, he relates to the children, to the younger audience, obviously. And I mean, in all fairness, there's a ton of Danhausen t-shirts in the audience. I'm not going to lie about that. But again, a lot of it is younger people. And again, where there's a kid, there's a parent. So that's the whole goal here, is to bring parents in as well. And then the thing is like his shtick is the whole 9 yards. He brings in boxes, and then, he clones people. Then when he clones them, they come out as different people. Like he did this one thing where he threw a shirt and a pair of pants into this box, and the basketball player comes out. Then he pushes another button, and a whole bunch of little people come out dressed like him. And then I feel bad because now, what's his name? Joe Hendry is a good wrestler. What are they doing with him? I have no idea. I really don't. I have no idea. And his big gimmick
yes, you do. They're going to use him for whatever because he's popular, and then they're going to get rid of him and squash him because that's what they do to everybody.
But that's what I'm trying to say. Yes, they do that to mostly everybody, but everybody at least has something. His big shtick is he faces the rope from inside the ring. He puts 1 foot behind him and does this really quick turn, and that's his whole shtick. Like
with a shit-eating smile, which I think is hysterical.
Yeah, I love his dimples though. He does have cute dimples. He got really.
Well, I'm not going there on dimples. I'm sorry, I'm just not going there with you. Now,
I love his dimples.
I got to tell you this though before we move on. So they've had house shows this week, and Cody and Punk have been teaming up. I don't recall who they're teaming up against. And I'm watching these videos that people are taking that are attending this. So they win probably, and they're having their back and forth frustration with each other. Right. And who comes out from the back, butt naked except for a towel around his waist, but Danhausen, who comes into the ring and gets between them and tries to be the arbitrator between the two of them, and then raises both of their hands. And that's what's been going on during house shows this week.
I saw one video where both Cody and Punk kissed him.
I missed that, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. The one I saw, he was in a towel, and he was in the ring trying to calm him down or whatever. And then it kind of jumped to like there was a still shot or something of Cody kissing him. And then there was a still shot of Punk kissing him. Like dead on the lips.
I didn't see it. I'm glad I didn't.
I'm devastated I missed those kisses. I'm devastated I missed those kisses.
I'll see if I can find it and send it to you on Facebook.
Now, the one thing I did want to talk about too is that Raquel Rodriguez finally, I like her, got a women's intercontinental title. She got a title. She beat Sol Ruca. I think it's about time they did something with Raquel Rodriguez. I think she's good. I think she brings a lot to the table, and they haven't done anything with her for all these years. Sol Ruca, on the other hand, I do feel bad for because she is a great athlete. I don't think she's a very good wrestler. There's a difference there. But I like her though. She's good. She's kind of puts me in mind a little bit of figure wise, like Charlotte Flair, like that. I like a younger version of Charlotte Flair. But I feel bad. I did like Sol Ruca. I don't know what they're going to do with her. Maybe send her back to Performance Center or NXT. I don't know. But I am happy that Raquel Rodriguez got to win the title. I just hope they let her keep it for a little while. All right, let's see what else we have here to talk about because I'm over this rest of this stuff.
Well, there's Dynamite from last night, but there are two things I would like to bring to your attention. Very, very important wrestling developments this week. Number one,
God.
Sirius XM Radio had a
Yeah.
24/7 Busted Open, became Pro Wrestling whatever, Pro Wrestling Nation, and as of Monday, it is now WWE Radio, and it is 100% WWE with the same host, Dave LaGreca, Bully Ray, but now all they're doing is WWE. They don't even talk about AEW. They don't talk about anything else now except WWE. They actually had Triple H on the other day as a guest.
I saw that.
They had CM Punk on today. So there's no venue now for AEW to get any kind of FaceTime, and that's where we come in.
That's where we come in. It'll be us. We will push the AEW.
That's right.
Speaking of AEW, yeah, I'm telling you, we got to contact Tony Khan. That's it. We need to. But I'm going to let you do that.
Good luck getting him to return it, of course.
I'm going to make him do it again.
But the other big thing that we didn't talk about was, and I should have sent this to you too, Jeannie, unless you saw it. I don't know if you watch NXT or not, but the Grayson Waller promo. I don't know if you watched it or not, Carmela.
I did.
But the whole internet is abuzz that's like the 2026 version of the CM Punk pipe bomb.
Yeah, but you know what? The CM Punk pipe bomb, okay, and for all intents and purposes was real. The Grayson pipe bomb wasn't real, okay? In today's day and age, WWE, you can't say or do anything that they don't approve of, period, done deal. And today they have much more control over that than they did then. Back then when CM Punk did it, if you notice, he got fired. His mic got turned off. They did everything but come out and drag him off the stage. They were not approving of anything he did. Same thing with Brock Lesnar. When he technically retired and did it on his own, they went out of their way to fix it and make it right so that they got their way anyway. This with Grayson Waller, I think, was him venting, but he was allowed to vent. It was a vent that was approved. Okay.
I don't disagree with the fact. No. I totally agree with you that it was scripted and that he was approved to do it. The point is that it created a
buzz.
big level of attention for him as well as NXT in general, and it really gave him a shot in the arm that he didn't have before.
I agree. It did do that. It really did. It gave him a voice that he did not have before because he was always doing crap stuff. The stuff in the ring with the show and the microphone and blah, blah, blah. And he was always there with Austin Theory. And he was always, never really accomplished anything on his own. And I totally agree with that. I think he has a lot more to offer. And I think they should let him do stuff on his own. And I think that the venting that he did, the purpose of that, like you said, lit up the internet and it did what they wanted it to do. Okay.
Yes.
Unlike what happened with CM Punk, I get it. I do get it. And I think that was their way of saying, okay, go out there and tell us your disapproval of the WWE or how you're being used. And let's see what that sparks. And it did. And it sparked a almost like a little revolution, And I think that's good. That's good for him in the long run. What are they going to do with him now? I don't know. I'm starting to think that maybe they have too many people on their roster and they're running out of ideas, or they have really, really, really crappy bookers and really crappy creative. Because I've been watching Unreal, Genie. I know you probably watched the whole thing, the third season already. Did you watch it yet? The whole thing?
Is that new? I thought we
Unreal.
I thought
Third season.
Yeah, the third season. Wasn't that earlier this year?
No, I think it just started.
Last week.
I know I saw it, but I was looking at it and I'm like, didn't I see this?
I don't know.
Okay.
This is something new.
Yeah, I'll watch it. Yeah, no,
this
I didn't watch it.
When John Cena left and all that stuff.
Yeah, I thought we'd seen all that already.
I didn't. I don't know. But I think that, again, they have so many wrestlers that they, even on the Unreal stuff, it's like, you know, um, they're not, and even the people that they're bringing out to talk or to do, like Liv Morgan, when they had her on Unreal, she was talking about she has a farm or something like that. Okay, nice, but what is the point of that? They show her on the farm, but nothing is said, nothing is done, and then they go away from her. And like, I don't understand that part. They discuss things that, you know, they let the business open wide open, okay, again, which everybody knows what's going on now. It's no point in it. It still pisses me off, but whatever. But then the same token, now you've done it. You've opened the door. You've exposed everything there possibly is to expose. So how do you now expect people to believe that these people really hate each other? You know what I'm saying? I think they just shot themselves in the foot. I really do. I felt that from the beginning.
Well, look at how many people are in the creative booking room. There's like a room of like 8 or 9 people. There's a whiteboard behind them. I mean, in the old days, it was 3 people sitting around a kitchen table at Vince McMahon's house booking the WWE, right?
Right. And the other thing is, right, and it's kind of like when we were doing our own wrestling stuff, and Joel at the same time, we were doing our own stuff. You had a booker, and you have somebody that hopefully you can trust, and the booker, to a point, does what they want to do based on knowing what the promoter wants. Back then, the promoter and the booker never meshed. They never interfered in each other. They did mesh, but they never interfered in each other's territories. The booker knew what was supposed to be done. The promoter told the booker what he was looking for. The booker went on ahead and got it done. Nowadays, I don't even think there is a booker. It's all, they call it creative now. And like you said, there's a big room. Triple H is at the front of the table. Bobby Roode is there. Paul Heyman is there, who gives very little conversation. They have a bunch of people who are not wrestlers, okay? They have a few wrestlers, and they're talking about, like, well, you know, I don't know if you noticed this, Rich, but every time a concept was brought up, everybody's like, well, you know, maybe. And they're all looked at Triple H. You know, nobody comes up with anything concise and says, yeah, I think this is great, you know, because they're all scared that he might not like it and get rid of them. And that's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
Well, a lot of this, I think the Unreal is, I don't think they shot themselves in the foot. That shot was fired decades ago. And I always said that when the whole Montreal screw job happened, okay, there was a documentary crew going around with Bret Hart, and, you know, secretly mic'd and all this stuff. And it was like, you know, and they were saying, oh, okay, yeah, well, it's going to be a schmoz. That's how we're going to do it. And there's going to be interference, and we got to try and figure. This was out 30, 40 years ago, you know, like, once that all came out, and it came out that Vince McMahon was not just a ring announcer, but he was the promoter, the owner, you know, and everything went through him. And so this has been going on since then, that, okay, we have to come up with a way to, you know, because it's always been this way. When you go to another territory, you have to leave the belt. And, you know, he was given the belt. He didn't really win the belt. We gave it to him, so now he has to give it back. You know, and that's just the rules of wrestling, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. So the whole thing that Unreal undid all of this, no, they didn't. That was done decades ago.
I still don't like it. They brought it to a whole different level. It's constantly now on the internet. You can see it. You can listen to it anytime you want. Yeah, back then, yeah, it was exposed a lot. But back then, it wasn't like you could just turn the TV on and watch it again over and over and over again. And it wasn't like they're going out of their way to tell you these individual secrets and have these wrestlers, talk and all this stuff. I don't approve of it. I never did. I never approved of any kayfabe leaving. I always approved of keeping everything the way it was supposed to be. But, times change and there's nothing you can do. I mean, it's not like because I think so, they're going to go back and do it. They're not. But I just think it's
no,
stupid.
you can't that's
no, you can't undo it. No,
there's
you
no
can't
way
undo
to
any
undo
of
it.
that. No, there's no way. So basically, like I said, now they're appealing to people, but that's just it. They're telling you it's staged, it's this, it's that, it's a show, it's but now they're still reaching out to you and they're still trying to make it look like they're looking for your opinion and your fanism and all this other crap. Why would you want to do that? At least in the AEW, it's already exposed, but the AEW doesn't promote that exposure every chance they get. That's what I like better about it. I know that AEW has a lot of flaws. It does. It really does. I think the violence is too much. I think, like you said, Rich, some of the kids might try to do this at home, and it's a scary, scary thing. I am sick of Orange Cassidy. I am sick of people like him in any federation, not just the WWE. Orange Cassidy gets on my nerves. The Bang Bang Gang, I think that's a stupid name, and I think a lot of the stuff that they do is stupid. But I mean, every federation, and there's not that many now, but every federation has their own quirks, their own ups, their own downs. But I think in the WWE, because they're so much bigger and they've been around for so much longer, has taken everything to a whole nother level, a level where there, like you said, there's no turning back from at all. Rich, what do you think?
Well, first of all, wrestling was originally exposed back in the 80s when there was no internet, when Vince McMahon came out and said that wrestling was predetermined. And he did that because he wanted to stop paying the fees from the state athletic commissions,
exactly,
who had determined, that because it was a sport that they had to pay these fees. So it was exposed, and I remember the furor by the old traditional kayfabe wrestlers that were just like shocked out of their minds when it happened. But the exposure now is to a worldwide, not even a nationwide, a worldwide audience, and it's on a Netflix, millions and millions and millions of subscribers who now see the goings on behind the scenes, as well as what you never saw before is what happens when they are on the other side of the curtain and they're back in the gorilla position. And now the people that just beat the crap out of each other are hugging each other and saying, are you okay? Oh, well, I didn't mean to do that, or whatever. Yeah. So Jeannie's right that it was exposed, but now it's exposed to a whole new level. Now you're right. Every wrestling promotion has its pros, its cons, its flaws. I would agree with you with what you said about AEW. There are other smaller promotions that are right now doing internet only that are finding an audience of themselves. For example, MLW, who has Karrion Kross as their champion. There's another federation that just started out of Canada called Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. The booker is Scott D'Amore, who used to be with TNA and got fired. And I just saw a promo that Adam Copeland is actually going to be appearing on one of their shows. And so AEW is allowing talent to go into other places. So there's a lot out there for people to see if they dig far enough and really, want to watch wrestling 24/7. But I just think that, it's just reached a whole new level that it will never go back ever to the way that it was.
It'll never go back. And the other thing that happened recently, we haven't really talked about, is Dark Side of the Ring.
Yeah, we got to start doing that too.
And they just had theirs, and when they're on there, they expose a lot of it. Well, like last night I was watching, and it was Well,
It's big boss.
I
man.
tape them and watch them the next
Big
day.
Boss Man, yeah.
So yeah, the Big Boss Man, and his daughter was like, they kind of had to say when they hung him at one point what that okay, this isn't really, it's and because it was traumatic for
Yeah.
them, as little girls seeing their dad being hung in the center of the ring,
Yeah, exactly.
which really any child that would traumatize. So they were doing all that crap back then, but they expose it. It's exposed. It's out there. If you enjoy that kind of thing, watch it. If you don't watch it.
See, I kind of compare. I was talking to Gianni last night. I kind of compare it to my chicken cutlet recipe, and it's funny because, like, you can say, well, yeah, I make chicken cutlets, and then they're like, what do you put in it? Well, I put eggs in it, and I put seasoning in it, and I put, and I said to Gianni last night, he goes, what do you make it that makes it so wonderful? I said, they're just chicken cutlets, and that would be like me saying, okay, now I'm going to tell everybody my recipe, but I want everybody to pretend it's not real, and I just like akin it to that, to wrestling. It's like, well, now we've told you everything, but we want you to still pretend that it's really good, And that's what I said. So I told Gianni, I said, no, it's made with love. That's all I'm going to tell you. And he was laughing, but it's true, like,
call me Gianni. I know the recipe. She taught me. I know it.
But, it's, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't like it because, it's been kept for so long. You're talking 80, 90 years that everything's been kept in one level, and then all of a sudden it's like out and forget it. Like, I hate it. I hate everything about it.
On not this past week, the week before, the Dark Side of the Ring was on Harley Race, and I watched that one, and I didn't know this, but when they had that Secrets of Wrestling or whatever, like the Secrets of Magicians, they used to have it exposing it.
Mhm.
Like, he was in there exposing the secrets of wrestling that is predetermined and all this other stuff. And I was like, Harley Race, like, I never ever would have thought he would do that.
Well, yeah, I guess it takes all kinds. Everybody does it.
Well, I'm sure he got paid for it.
Of course he got paid. Yeah.
But
That's crazy. I know.
Yeah.
Okay. Any final thoughts?
Well, if you would like to do a separate episode on the Dark Side of the Ring, I have a lot to say about the 3-part Jeff Jarrett TNA.
That was so good. It was so good.
Well, like I said, we talked about this before about having more than one podcast a week for now, because, I want to do a couple of podcasts on the documentary for TWA #1. I want to bring people back that have been here before. Still got to bring back Susan Green.
Rich, did you get to see the documentary?
I have not. I have not seen it. I saw that they were advertising for it on a website.
It's instead of, wait a minute, it's Kinema. It's like cinema.
Kinema. Yeah, kinema.com.
The only problem with that is that it's $14.99 every time. You can only watch it for so much time. Then you have to pay the $14.99 again. So they're trying to do something where they can actually put it on a DVD or something like that, I think. So that's what we're going to find out. So we're going to do that. And then I want to bring Susan Green back out here to talk about the Von Erichs. I want to, we got next week, we got Mike McCurdy coming out. He's going to talk about, he's got a podcast now and talk about that. And then he keeps on wanting me to write a book. I want to write a book. He's going to try and help me do that. Then we have Jeannie brought up the fact that on the 13th, Dominic DeNucci will have passed away, 5 years. And we want to bring Kenny Jugan on, who was a very, very good friend of Dominic DeNucci. He wrestled under the name of Lord Zoltan years ago. And he did say he can't make the 13th, so we might have to do it another night that week if he can make it. So that's what I'm working on right now. And then, we're working on all kinds of stuff. I want to do Dark Side of the Ring. And then we got guests coming, and then we have updates. So we might wind up having to do more than one a week periodically, and then we'll play that one by ear. But I'm very excited. I'm very happy that we have that problem, and it's not a problem. I'm very grateful that we have the opportunity to have more podcasts. And now you never know, maybe we'll get a call from Tony Khan, and maybe he'll say, I need you to promote us more, so, hey, we might wind up tomorrow morning waking up having 1 million listeners. Wouldn't that be great?
I think, it's very nice to think that, but I will be cautiously optimistic that will never happen, but you never know. If you get them to return your email, I'll send you a check.
You'll send me a check?
Yeah.
How much? How much do I get if I get an answer from Tony Khan? How much?
Off the air.
Oh.
I ain't committing to nothing on YouTube.
Well, now you got my ears perked a little bit. I want to see now, because my friend Debbie used to call me the Kraken. She used to always say, if anybody can get it done, the Kraken can. So now you put a little bit of sugar on my tongue there. So let's see what happens.
I sent you Tony Khan and Nick and Matt Jackson's AEW email address.
Hey, let me tell you something. My daughter had the biggest admiration, not crush, but admiration for Lin-Manuel Miranda. She wanted nothing more than to meet that man, nothing more than to have something to do with that man because of that Hamilton play and all that. So I went crazy, and I did this and I did that, and never told anybody, never told a soul. I busted my ass for her. And one day the mail came, she got a letter, and it was from Lin-Manuel Miranda. I actually spoke to his father on the phone and through email, and I explained everything to him. I finally reached him because he's the agent for his father, and I told him about my daughter, and I said to him flat out, I said, look, I don't want just a standard postcard with a stamp. And he said no. He said, we won't do that. So we got a little letter, and it from Lin-Manuel Miranda, signed in, by hand. You could tell that it was not stamped. And he wrote to her about everything that I talked to his father about her artwork and her being in school and how much she loved Hamilton. And she cried when she got it. She was so happy. Not that I can do it this time, but I never like to say never. I'm going to try. That's all.
Good.
Never going to say
basing
never.
my opinion based on my own historical experiences. Oh, by the way, AEW Collision is on tonight. Probably because of SummerSlam weekend.
That's right. Okay. Yeah, everybody watch it tonight, 8:00. Okay, we're done. I'm done. Tomorrow's Friday. I am off Monday because I'm going to try and watch SummerSlam this weekend. And anytime something is on late at night, I usually take the next day off because there's no way I go to bed that late and wake up in time to go to work. So, when you get to be my age, you have to make little concessions for things, So anyway, it was great being with you guys tonight. We will be back next week with the update on SummerSlam. We will be back next week for that. We will have, maybe we'll do 2 shows next week because we have a guest and then we have updates. And maybe when we do the update, we'll do a Dark Side of the Ring portion and then see how that goes. Okay? Any final thoughts from you guys? What?
I just hope that SummerSlam is not as underwhelming as we anticipate it to be.
I know.
Oh, and
and
one other thing, and I meant to mention this to you earlier. Well, it was such a pleasure and privilege to be on last week's show. Tom Brandy was so phenomenal, and seems like first time I ever met him, such a wonderful, nice guy, and it was so nice to meet him. And if he's watching this, thank you, Tom.
It was great. Wonderful. He's wonderful. We're bringing him back for a 4th episode. That guy, I'll tell you, that guy is hardcore, straight from the heart. He really is. He's a good guy. He's a great person, and he will shoot from the hip. He'll tell you everything that he believes, and he don't care. But in the same token, he's also a wonderful person. So if he doesn't get to see this, I am going to tell him what you said.
Yeah.
So yeah, he'll like that. He's a great guy. All right, Jeannie, we're going to talk for a minute. So let's say goodbye, and then we'll talk about what we want to talk about later. All right, love you guys. Talk to you later.
Love you. Bye.
Bye-bye.